But the name Schwarzenegger is also synonymous with the perfect male form, a phenomenon in professional bodybuilding that claimed 7 Mr. Olympia titles. Like its namesake, the Arnold Classic event has become one of this country's richest and most prestigious bodybuilding competitions. In 5 years, the Classic attracts most of the world's best in a sport that requires dedication, commitment, and hours of personal training. Today, the commitment pays off in the 5th annual Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic, named for the man who made commitment something to shoot for. Today, Sports World visits Columbus, Ohio, the seat of government for the state of Ohio and the home of the Ohio State Buckeyes. And today, the city of Columbus pays tribute to one of its favorite adopted sons.
Welcome to the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic in Columbus, Ohio. Now, there's a lot of people that always ask me, why are you holding these championships in Columbus, Ohio? Since all the big gymnasiums are in California, the mecca of bodybuilding is in Southern California, the biggest guys come from out there. But I have very fond memories of Columbus, Ohio, because this is where I won my first World Bodybuilding Championship. And this is why I wanted to build bodybuilding in this town. And since then, we've held the biggest competitions here. The biggest guys are coming to this competition. And of course, when I say big, I mean big. And let me tell you something, action speaks much louder than words. So please follow me and you will see what I mean by big. Come.
We're inside Veterans Memorial Auditorium for what has become one of the hottest tickets in Central Ohio. A sporting event with a rock concert flair. A bodybuilding competition with prizes totaling more than $225,000. Hello everyone, I'm Don Cricky and welcome to the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic, an event that in its brief 5-year history has become one of the premier events in bodybuilding in the world, and the superstars of the sport are here to compete. Also, the best women are represented. They'll be vying for the Miss International title. Arnold Schwarzenegger is the only man in the history of New York City to be allowed to legally close down Times Square at night. The city's allowing him to do that while he films his new motion picture. And the name Schwarzenegger is heading into outer space. This spring, Schwarzenegger will be festooned on the sides of the NASA space launch as they send up the booster rockets into space come April. And now it's my pleasure to introduce you to the most decorated person in the history of the bodybuilding sport, Arnold Schwarzenegger, a man who I know is very proud of this event with good reason, Arnold.
You're absolutely right, Don. I'm extremely proud and I'm extremely happy today because it is not only the biggest and most important bodybuilding competition in the world, but it's also a very unique one because it has not only the top male bodybuilding champions competing, but also the top female champions are competing here, all at the same stage, the same day. So I think that's what makes this event very big and unique, and that's why it's always sold out and it's packed.
It really is. It's really a happening here in Columbus, Ohio. Enormous celebrity surrounding both Arnold and the whole event. And the actual decision on who's the best comes down to a panel of judges.
That's right. That after all the hard training is done, it is up to the judges to make those decisions. We have a panel of very experienced judges that are going to make those decisions, and they're looking for the symmetry and proportion of the body, for the size of the muscles, and also for the posing routine, because it's very important to also display your body the right way, not just have the muscles. So I think they're going to have a tough time today coming up with a winner.
All right, baby, let's let them get underway.
That's right.
Along with the title of the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic champion comes a prize of $80,000, with $35,000 going to second place. And there's also good prize money for the Ms. International Women's Competition. And here is one of the best, Vince Taylor, one of the world's best, 36 years old from Pembroke Pines, Florida. Vince is the defending Schwarzenegger winner.
Vince Taylor won the championship last year and looked fantastic, and I think that this year he came back with actually much more musculature and much more maturity of the body, so he's defending the title this year. He looks fantastic. His posing, of course, is recognized now as the best posing routine of any of the bodybuilders around. He is a really most professional and studied posing routine.
The defending champion, Vince Taylor, was also third in '89 and '91 in Mr. Olympia competition.
Makes his posing so great is because he is both. He There's a dramatic posing with him, which is very powerful poses, but then again he goes into this graceful kind of moves and uses a totally different music. That's what makes him a great champion in posing. He is of course showing again that he has great symmetry of biceps, the leg development, shoulders, the abdominals. He's flexing everything. He has the total body under control all the time. He has a great most muscular pose.
Taylor could be the man to beat again. That's just the first of a number of superstars of bodybuilding you'll see today.
As you could see, he has very muscular calves, but at the same time it's important to have your biceps in proportion and have it the same size, and he has that. He makes that point all the time during his posing.
Vince has built his rock-hard body with a lot of dessert.
I'm gonna eat a lot of ice cream. I usually eat ice cream before shows, and I'll eat ice cream tonight.
And that's very unusual, I tell you, because normally guys really go on strict diets before the competition.
If our next competitor looks like he could play middle linebacker, he did for the Toronto Argonauts of the Canadian Football League. This is 26-year-old Paul Dillette.
Paul has the most enormous muscles that I have ever seen. I mean, this is gigantic. Look at his deltoids, his shoulder muscles. Look at the chest, the pectorals and everything, the thighs. The only problem is that he's not using this enormous mass to his advantage. He does a pose, and then he stops the pose before he really has flexed and has gotten into the pose, and before the audience and the judges really can see the pose in its finished stage.
Muscularity is just one phase of the judging. Presentation is also a very important one, Arnold. You have to show those muscles the right way.
Posing is just extremely important, and this is why I always say to bodybuilders, you must practice the posing as much as you train your body, because it's a very crucial stage. It's the last round, and that's where you win or lose. Paul weighs 260 pounds, his enormous chest and leg developments. I hope he works on his posing.
And after that display, Paul is physically exhausted. A big guy like this can lose as much as 7 pounds just in the posing phase of the competition. He works out for 3 hours a day, 6 days a week in his adopted hometown of Venice, California. Here's another superstar of the sport, Flex Wheeler, who won the Ironman competition a week ago. And earlier, the big news in the Ms. International competition was the return of Carla Dunlop after a 4-year absence. The former Ms. Olympia stepped away from the competition only to try a comeback this weekend.
I think I need to put on more size. I'm coming back in. I've been training down for 4 years. What I'm going to do over the summer before I go into the Olympia is to get whatever I can from this contest and make the improvements so that I can be a viable first placer.
But the dream of another championship was not to be. Carla failed to make the finals, but she will be back later in the year. 6 did make it to the final pose down. This sport keeps reinventing itself. It keeps changing, Arnold. What are the main determinants now of a women's champion?
It does change all the time, and now it is again, the bodybuilding for women is going in a direction of more the feminine look and the leaner look. Although for the average person, they still probably look very muscular. One thing I want to point out also is that I think that the women are much more talented when it comes to posing, and I think it has a lot to do with their background in other sports.
And 24-year-old Kim Żyzewski of Decatur, Illinois, wins in her first year as a pro. She talked to Arnold.
Well, first of all, Kim, I want to congratulate you for winning the Miss International competition.
Thank you.
Now tell me, what does this mean to the future of bodybuilding, and in which direction the sport of female bodybuilding is going now by you winning this competition?
I feel it's going in a positive way because I'm trying to uphold the femininity of the sport. I want to be a positive role model, and I'd like to see the sport grow each year and move in a feminine fashion.
23 years ago, another first-year professional won his first major title, the Mr. World competition on the same stage, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Let's welcome on Kenny Flex Wheeler.
And Speaking of first, Flex Wheeler on the stage now. Won his first professional title, Mr. Ironman competition, just a week ago. Flex is 27 years old, from Los Angeles, a karate expert and the father of two. Lee Labrada's coming up next. He's talking with his wife Robin and his son Hunter here. He was second to the man on the stage a week ago.
You know, Flex Wheeler is very new to the international bodybuilding scene, but he has a phenomenal development, great proportions, and just the most outstanding definition. Look at the split he's doing right now. I mean, I don't think that I've ever seen in the history of bodybuilding anyone be so flexible that he can do this particular pose here.
Thus comes the name Flex and his initial championship just a week ago.
Look at the back development. Look at the deltoids, the separation of trapezius and deltoids and arms. And he really knows how to milk each of those poses and how to use them to his advantage. Here's the most muscular pose. Look at the separation and the definition. Great abdominals. Again, another split. Ow!
Flex Wheeler and Atlas with the flexibility of a dancer, and the audience really appreciates it.
Like I said, it is the first time ever that I've seen a bodybuilder do a split at a bodybuilding championship. Incredible flexibility. Here you can see his back in both of those poses, again with that famous split.
Flex Wheeler could again be the man to beat. Coming up next is Lee Labrada, and we asked his wife Robin, a model from Houston, what it's like to be married to a bodybuilder.
Still very exciting, not so much nerve-wracking anymore until you get to the final end, and there's only 5 of them standing up there. He's done very well in his career, so we always expect to win. Unfortunately, you don't.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Houston, Texas, the fabulous Lee Labrada.
Lee is 32 years old, a native of Cuba. He's a civil engineer, and the only man besides Lee Haney to place in the top 4 of the Mr. Olympia competition for 6 consecutive years. Symmetry is his strength.
He is the most symmetrical bodybuilder, there's no doubt at all. And he has a wonderful posing routine. And here's his wife and his child backing him up all the way during his posing performance. And I think it must make him really feel proud and great to have them stand there and watch him with his posing.
Little guy wondering what the heck is Dad doing out there?
Exactly. Look at the symmetry he has. Just every pose that he does is like a sculpture. Wonderful moves. Here's a double bicep again. See, each pose is designed to show symmetry.
Lee Labrada.
And a tremendous ovation for Lee Labrada. The auditorium sold out for weeks for this annual competition, and this is one of the most popular people in the sport.
Because of his great symmetry, he can beat all the big bodybuilders. Bodybuilders that weigh 250, 260 pounds, and that are much taller than him. He can beat them because he has this perfect proportion.
And still to come, more from Columbus, Ohio, as the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic continues. Now we pick up Mike Matarazzo, 26 years old from Los Angeles, in the midst of his posing. Mike is married and one of the rising stars also in the sport.
He's new in the field of bodybuilding. He has only been competing, I think, for a year and a half or 2 years, and I think that he has a great future ahead of him. All he needs to do is just polish now his body.
Massive Michael Matarazzo.
He's known in the bodybuilding circles of having the most outstanding calves and also abdominals. He looks really great.
And like all the competitors, Arnold, right now Mike Matarazzo's worn out. This is a long day of competition with a lot of weight being lost. The judging includes 3 phases. 1, symmetry with comparing body types. Number 2, muscularity, also with comparisons. And number 3, the presentation, which really decides it.
Now, it is important for everyone to know that every one of those bodybuilding champions starts out with a normal size arm like this. But after hard work, years and years of training and lifting heavy weights, then it develops into a muscular biceps like this. Let's do this again. Now, so everyone has a chance to get biceps like this. We at the Arnold Classic had a convention on fitness.
You know, every sport has something going on for the fans, some activities. And of course, we in bodybuilding have the same thing. Here at the Arnold Classic, we have the Fitness Expo. Something for you, the pose for your wife. Let me just explain to you why it is so important for me to personally inspect the expo, the fitness expo here at the Arnold's Classic. I have to be watching every step of the way. Come with me now and watch us, all the things that are happening here. It's very important to know how to train the gluteus maximus and how to train the chest and all this. And I'm here to inspect all the machines, okay? Eat your heart out.
Arnold's favorite part of the expo. Now on the stage is the last finalist, 32-year-old J.J. Marsh from Phoenix.
Fantastic back development. He's known as being also a very good poser. Really great leg development, leg biceps and the quadriceps. Needs more calves though. This is one of the complaints the judges have. Good lat spread, good V-shaped body, good most muscular, but does not have yet the finished body that he should have in order to win this competition.
Our last finalist, J.J. Marsh, the all-important pose down, is coming up next.
Now here he is with a perfect kneeling 3/4 back pose. Great back development, but still needs some calf development. And here is going to the mirror, which I consider bodybuilder's best friend.
Yeah, it doesn't lie, it tells the truth. We'll have more from the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic coming up in a moment.
Gentlemen, relax.
Now the final moments of the competition, the all-important pose down when the athletes have their final chance to impress the judges. This is an area that you really pioneered, Arnold, in your days of competition.
Yeah, we started out this whole thing of pose down, I think it was in the early 70s, and it became really the most important round. Here, for instance, is a pose of Lee Labrada starts the whole thing, then Paul comes in, and he starts posing with him. And it's like really like trying to put your best foot forward and show off that you have better muscles than the next guy next to you. And this is what this is all about. And like I said, although maybe you are behind in points, that is where you can make up points and still win in that last round. And this is why this is the round that the guys take most seriously, and this is where they put the most effort into it.
And look here, it looks like we have a little showdown in the pose down between Lee Labrada on the left and Paul Dillette.
The bottom line here is to show your strong points to the judges, to bring up your strong points and to hide your weak points, and to score some extra points. That's what everyone here is hoping for.
Thank you.
Earlier we talked with some of the competitors about what it would mean to win.
Well, the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic is rapidly becoming the #1 competition, both in quality and depth of field. So I think it's a very substantial show, which I would like to win.
Arnold is the highlight of my career. This is the most exclusive bodybuilding title there is for me in bodybuilding. That was putting the icing on the cake for me. Doesn't get any higher than that.
Very important. I mean, you know, of course, that's why we're all here, and the prize money that's involved in it's such a prestigious contest, so it's very important, or else I wouldn't put my life into it to get here.
The judges have made their decision, and we're down to 3 competitors. And they are, on the left, Vince Taylor. In the center, Flex Wheeler. And on the right, Lee Labrada.
Oh, he must be so disappointed as last year's winner to place 3rd this year.
Vince Taylor, a 3rd-place finisher, and that leaves Flex Wheeler and Lee Labrada going for the championship. Lee's wife, Robin, has seen this same scenario just a week ago, and the same 2 went for the Ironman championship.
And now we have 2. Ladies and gentlemen, the 1993 Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic champion, Flex Wheeler.
Flex Wheeler, 2 competitions in 2 weeks and 2 championships.
Oh, Lee Labrada must be so disappointed right now because he has put in so much hard work and effort into this competition.
Only to finish 2nd again, which is certainly a lofty place to finish, but as far as Robin's concerned right now, there's 1st place and no place.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me present to you
Flex Wheeler, Arnold, certainly a deserving champion.
His tremendous development and his magic split, I think, did it for him, and that's what made him the winner.
The fabulous Flex Wheeler.
And now a look at the official scoring rundown. Following Flex Wheeler was Lee Labrada. Then came the defending champion Vince Taylor, followed by Paul Dillette, J.J. Marsh, and Mike Matarazzo. Arnold is backstage right now with the winner.
Flex Wheeler, congratulations for winning the Arnold's Classic. And tell me now, how much did it help you to come out of this kind of a momentum of winning the Ironman competition a week ago?
I think it played a tremendous influence on me, especially that was my first pro debut, and I won that show, and I think it gave me a little momentum going into this show, which I think I needed quite a bit.
Give me quickly the measurements and the body weight.
Right now I'm currently at 227 pounds. I'm 5'10". I have 22.5-inch arms. My legs are 31. My waist is a 27.5. And I think my chest is right around a 56, something like that.
Well, Flex, it seems to me that size is in again, although you have great proportions, you have a great posing routine, but don't you think that the future is again in big guys, size? I mean, the measurements that you're saying to me is world record measurements right now, right?
It's the standards that people like you set a long time ago that we have to compete against now. It's the standards that were set now, and we still go by those rules now, so I think it's very important.
Very good. Well, I will say congratulations again, and I wish you best luck for the Mr. Olympia contest, which is coming up this fall, okay?
Flex Wheeler, our new champion of the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic. Now for Arnold, this is Don Criqui. Glad you could be with us in Columbus, Ohio. World Speed Skating is coming up next on Sports World.